Steph Curry has taken the league by storm since being drafted 7th overall in the 2009 NBA Draft. But some players have taken exception to all his achievements and accolades. Not everyone has taken so kindly to the monumental success of the 6'2" point guard from Davidson College. Steph has led his Golden State Warriors to 6 NBA Finals since he arrived in the Bay Area. They won 4 and lost 2 of them. Chef Curry has also made 9 All-Star appearances and was named the 2022 Finals MVP. On paper, this guy checks all the boxes and fans love him. So what is it? His small stature? Maybe his inability to be a shutdown defender? Or possibly his charming baby-faced looks? Whatever the haters claim is the reason, it most likely boils down to one thing: jealousy. Steph Curry has a mind-boggling ability to put the ball through the nylon from anywhere on the court. His father, Del Curry, was a sharpshooter for the Charlotte Hornets and scored the second most points in franchise history. So, some players may have taken exception to the fact that he had special privileges as a child. The resources he had available to him were far greater than most little kids were afforded. He routinely got to shoot around and practice with NBA players. While this rings true, it doesn't subtract from the facts. His three-point shooting has revolutionized the game of basketball. There are a few players that don't like how they're asked to guard Steph on defense, but Steph doesn't guard them back. The Warriors will commonly put a better defender on said player, usually deferring to Klay Thompson for that. Other traditionalists around the league are not happy with the overall change that's happening within the game of basketball. For instance, Dennis Rodman doesn't think the Golden State Warriors style of play is real basketball. In 1998, Rodman's final championship season with the Chicago Bulls, as a whole, his team averaged 11.7 three-pointers per game. In 2020, Steph Curry alone averaged 12.7 three-point attempts per game. Now that's a stark difference. In 2021, Curry averaged 11.7 threes per game, and then last year, he still averaged a robust 11.4 three-point attempts per game. These numbers blow any other player's number out of the water. For years, the NBA was dominated by big men playing inside the paint. Bill Russell, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Wilt Chamberlain. The list goes on and on. These guys were the cream of the crop in the NBA with their superior size. Even Michael Jordan himself had his complications with the three ball. The issue for Mike was he played collegiate ball for 3 years in North Carolina when there was no three-point line. College basketball didn't adopt the three-point line until 1986, so MJ's rookie season in the NBA was the first time he ever played with a three-point line. Needless to say, Jordan didn't fare all that well with the three-point shot during his first few years in the league. He had never really practiced it before. As time went on, Jordan's success rate eventually started to climb higher and higher. Players like Reggie Miller, Steve Kerr, and Ray Allen were some of the most precise three-point shooters the NBA had to offer. They started stretching the court like it had never been done before. These guys blazed a trail for the future downtown shooters like Steph Curry. Other people around the league who have expressed displeasure with Steph Curry are Doc Rivers and his son Austin, a guard for the Minnesota Timberwolves. They, like many others, have suffered many frustrating losses to Steph over the years. Austin went on record to say that Curry is the hardest player in the league to cover. He's constantly moving, and the refs don't allow you to touch him. The NBA wants to see the three-point shot, especially from the best shooter in the world, because it makes the fans go wild. So the referees swallow their whistles and allow his teammates to get away with setting illegal screens. That is very frustrating as a player. Moving along, we find LeBron James on the list of people with a Steph Curry vendetta. The first overall pick in 2003 is highly regarded as one of the greatest basketball players of all time. At 38 years old, he's won 4 NBA championships, just like Steph. His 4 championships are incredible, considering it's from 3 different teams. But that number could be much higher if it wasn't for Steph Curry and the Warriors. James faced Curry in 4 straight championships, from 2015 to 2018, and the boys from the Bay Area won 3 out of 4 of those titles. A stat that assuredly doesn't sit well with King James. The King has never publicly scrutinized the baby-faced assassin, but you could tell from his heightened emotions when they face off that there's some extra passion put forth on the court. Another player that has trouble sleeping at night because of Steph Curry is Russell Westbrook. Russ was drafted in 2008 as the 4th overall pick by the Oklahoma City Thunder, just one season prior to Curry splashing down on the scene in San Francisco. Westbrook played the better part of a decade for OKC, and most of those years he was playing alongside Kevin Durant. The UCLA product was well known for his tenacious defense, and his 198 career triple-doubles are the most all-time in the NBA. Just a sensational record to hold by Russell Westbrook. Westbrook and Durant were in great position to win their first NBA championship in the 2015 season. However, in the Western Conference Finals, they were matched up against Steph Curry and the defending champion Golden State Warriors. Although the Thunder bolted out to a 3-1 lead, things never materialized for Oklahoma City, and Steph Curry fever once again swept over the NBA. The Golden Boy was becoming a fan favorite around the league, and players like Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant were being viewed as second best, a view that naturally did not sit well with the dynamic duo. They could only laugh when asked about their opponent, Steph Curry. We all know Curry got the last laugh. Another drawback certain players in the league have is they're tired of the boisterous celebrations from Steph Curry. One of those players is Chris Paul. Paul was drafted in 2005 as the 4th overall pick by the New Orleans Hornets. He thought he was destined for big things like rings, but his skills were quickly brushed off by the mesmerizing deep ball that Steph Curry was showcasing. Chris Paul is a 12-time All-Star, but his team has frustratingly lost multiple playoff series to Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors. Another player who is not all that jazzed with the accomplishments of Steph Curry is James Harden. In 2015, Harden was on a mission to become league MVP. But it wasn't meant to be, as Curry took home the honors. Harden wasn't shy about letting his frustrations be known. He went on record to say that he led the league in scoring as well as minutes played and felt he deserved the award over Steph. To make matters worse for Harden, Steph won MVP honors again the very next year. It wasn't until the 2017 season where James Harden finally got his MVP hardware. The final player we highlight that's fed up with losing to Curry is Damian Lillard. The Portland Trail Blazers point guard was drafted in 2012, a few years after Steph, so he may not have the same disdain as some of these other guards we mentioned. However, Damian is a lifetime 0-10 against Steph in the playoffs. Just a dismal record for an 11-year veteran and superstar like Lillard. Damian has been one of the best in the business since his arrival, just not against the Splash Brothers. If you add up the championships that Russell Westbrook, Chris Paul, James Harden, and Damian Lillard have won, you can see why they might hate Steph Curry. Curry earned back-to-back MVP trophies, has 4 Larry O'Briens, and owns a couple of scoring titles. The most likely reason NBA players don't like Steph Curry isn't some arbitrary reason like he's one-dimensional or he had world-class training growing up in the Curry household. The real reason is simple. He took the shine from other players, and his shooting has changed the game of basketball forever.